of coffee and treats. I would like to take a moment to read St. John's Land Acknowledgement. St. John's Church stands on the ancestral homelands of the Wapekute Band of the Dakota Nation. We respect and are grateful for the generations of Native people who have cared for this land. This is the last Courageous Conversations program of the year. I have learned things I didn't know, thought about things I thought I knew in a different way, felt deeply, and have been challenged to take action, even if it's a small step. What an impressive slate of speakers we've had. And we owe it all to the members of our WELCA Justice Education Committee. Joe Franklin, please stand, and stay standing. Don Tomerdahl, and Michelle Kramer-Prevost, who is out of the state, yes. Help me thank these women for all their energy and passion they put into making these programs so successful. Thank you so much. There are a few announcements before we get started. There are WELCA books at the registration table describing WELCA's work here at St. John's and the contacts for committees and special groups. Please take one if you're interested in joining in on some of the service project, activities, field trips that are hosted by the women of our church. We have a free will offering basket at the door. WELCA maintains a fiscal independence from St. John's Church. The funds help support our Courageous Conversations programming and many other outreach programs that the women of St. John's carry out throughout the world. I would also like to bring your attention to the registration forms for the WELCA Cannon River Conference that St. John's is hosting on May 11th. We were able to book a nationally recognized author, presenter, and WELCA woman herself, Dr. Jacqueline Bussey. You're not going to want to miss this, and I know I can tell a lot of you have already signed up. So far, we've had over 100 people, 100 women sign up for this conference. So if you haven't, had a chance to sign up, you can sign up at the door and we'll take your registrations here so you can get added to the list and added to the lunch count. It's not too late, even though we said it was due May 1st. We'll give you a break. Tonight's program is being recorded for our Courageous Conversations Library of Speakers, which you can find on St. John's website. We will have a question and answer following the program, when you are welcome to step up to the microphone with your questions. And now, Joe Franklin will introduce our speaker.
Well, thank you for coming to our final Courageous Conversation for this year. I'd like to just give my personal gratitude to my teammates, Dawn and Michelle, for all the work that has gone into putting this year's programs together. We have been blessed each month with inspirational speakers who are living examples of our theme, Hope is a Muscle in the Midst of the Struggle. These individuals shared not only personal stories of pushing through barriers and obstacles to achieve their own success, but they also shared how they continue to exercise these hope muscles in the ongoing struggle to work toward greater justice in our world today. From justice in legislation, to gender justice in families and in faith communities, to justice in occupied Palestine, and racial justice for Black and Indigenous communities, these speakers are truly leading by example. There is much work yet to be done, but in recognizing that we belong to one another, we can ease the burden of doing this work on our own. That's a sneak peek for our theme for next year and an invitation to join us in the fall. So that brings us to tonight's topic, which is A Prisoner of Hope, Insights into Assumptions, Attitudes, and Fear in Our Current Context, and the hope that perpetually points us to uncharted possibilities. Dr. Samuel Lodegelowacki is one of our own St. John's members, and he has recently published I Am a Prisoner of Hope, which will be available for purchase tonight at the back table. And I encourage all of you to take a look at that wonderful book. Dr. Loda Galawaki is a professor emeritus in psychology and sociology at Concordia University in St. Paul. He holds a PhD from Aquinas Institute of Philosophy, a master's of both divinity and counseling from Luther Seminary, and bachelor's degrees in divinity and education from schools in Tanzania. Prior to teaching psychology and sociology for 25 years, he was a family and individual psychotherapist at Lutheran Social Services. His writing is informed by his education, by his work experiences, and by lived experiences under colonial rule in Africa and as an immigrant and racial minority in the United States. With all that, I'm sure you can see why we are so grateful to have Dr. Samuel Loda Galawaki with us as our culminating Hope is a Muscle speaker. So please join me in giving him a warm welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be here because I have a bias. I always wanted to say it, that during the time of Christ, we men sometimes boast a lot that we are strong. But look at it back. When Christ was killed on a cross, where did the men go? The disciples were in the house, locked themselves in there, scared to death. And where are the women? You are the one who went to find out the body that Christ is risen. And I tell you what, a little bit tells us men to be careful, because women have a strength. So when I see courageous thing, I say, you're kidding me. I've seen it before. Today, I really am glad to, because I've been a member of the church here, but I'm glad to share with you a few things. I think I have, my problem is that I'm like a machine without a closing thing. So I need somebody to hold me off because I run over. First of all, I want to say thank you. I have my wife and my niece and daughter here, and my friends who are former chair, out from Southernborough are here. They travel all the way here. It's a long way. And so a cold day, so they're here. So we thank God that they're here too. I'm really, really thankful. The book, my idea of hope, I think is that hope is really, as you say, is a muscle. But how did I get here first? Hope is both psychological and physiological. Hope is conscious and unconscious. It goes there. You may be conscious of it or you may be unconscious of it, but you have hope. You're sitting on a chair right there. Some chairs are not very comfortable. You feel like you want to change the chair. Hope, there is hope that you find a chair which is comfortable. And so you kind of feel like that. Now, how did I get here is because I come from Africa, Tanzania, and I was one of those fought so hard to get independence in Tanganyika. Tanganyika, as you know, the German had it first. It was North Africa. The German took it, and then when the German lost the war, then the British were given to be the nannies of Tanzania, of Tanganyika at that time. And they said, don't worry, we'll help them out to get independence as fast as we can. Sure enough, it took over 40-some years, 50 years, they tried to get us to, what kind of a child is that who goes on for 40 years without being able to walk? So we fought out, and quite a bit, and politically, not really, no bloodshed, but just talk. And those days I was involved in politics and tried to really free ourselves. So here we are. But before I say that, I'd like to say that I'm a son, and I was the child, only the firstborn son, but not the firstborn child. I was number 4. And so people say, how did you get here? Well, my father, who was born in 1896, was an orphan. It was a pandemic came and hit the country, and people just died out. He was probably, they say he was about 2 months, 3 months old. His mother died, all the sisters died, and when they did that, the family which survived, they were checking the place, they found out that he was a baby, there was a baby alive. They took that baby, and somebody nurtured that baby, and therefore raised by people who are not relatives. He went through all the things that you know when you don't belong to the family. You are just adopted. You know what goes on. Sometimes there's a favoritism. But he had to hang out there and so forth. And then his father came and appeared because the father was not home that time when the pandemic hit. He came back only to leave, and he died when my father was 4 years old again. So he was left without brother, father, mother, or anybody. He always said to me, he wishes he can remember the face of his mother or even the voice of his mother. And I didn't understand that. Why? Well, did you have a mother? I kept on saying that. He went, after he went, the mother died and the father died, and then he grew up nowhere. Those days, the countries, no roads, no towns, just live out wherever you are. But he grew up, and then in a family, and he got to the point where he realized that he's alone, he had to work hard. Then the war came, the First World War came, and he went and joined the war when he was about 18 years, and joined the war not because he wanted to fight, but he needed something to do. He didn't know, no family. You keep on traveling from one moment to one area to another, and you have anything else. So he went out there, and he had a spear, and so he goes out there. The German, at that time he wanted to fight with the German. The German were the country that the German said Tanganyika was their land. But my father did not know, because nobody knew what does it mean having a land? What do you do with it? So he went out there, and they put your spear out there. He put the spear away and said, well, we're going to give you another thing you can use to fight this war. So they taught him how to, those guns that you put a lot of powder in it, and then poof, and he said, boy, this is really something. You paint something, it goes out. So he learned out very quickly. Then he felt bad during the war. He said he saw so many dead people, so many dead bodies, and the war was brutal. But he came out of it and alive, and then no family. So he had to go and look for how he can survive. He found a Dutch family, which also knew, they were part of the German type of, kind of a family German, but they were still in Tanganyika. But they found them. This guy had the farm, as a cattle. And so my father said, can I work for you so I can get some food? So they said, all right, but you'll do that, but you stay out. You don't come in the house. So he stayed with the cattle. They would never let him in the house. They will eat the food, and then they get the leftover, they put right down there by the door, and then he picks up there and go and eat while he's watching the cattle in the night. He did that for quite a number of years, and then he finally moved out, where he said, this is not working. And so, because he asked one day, this lady, the wife of this man, what is that you are doing? Every time I walk here in the night, I see you with a little light, and then you are all putting your head down and you're mumbling something. Is that something you are talking to down there? So, oh no. It's the Bible. You say, what is that? We're talking to a word of God. You say, God is there? Well, yeah, in some way, yes, you can, yeah, God, we talk there this way, we talk there, and we pray. So he said, can I see that? I said, oh, no, you can't. It's the God, the one who created us, yeah, created us. We are in the image of God. My father said, oh, me too? He said, no, you are not the image of God. Us, you are not. He said, who created then me and the other people? You said, well, God, but God, they don't let it lie. But he told God that what God's creating and white man, God had to get down the job and he swept his place, and then whatever he picked it up there, that's why he created an African. And as he said, that's why you people have to be working for us forever. You can never be the master of a pure person God made. You're going to be that. He said, so how did you know that? I said, you know that thing that you say we are looking all the time? You say, that thing we look and talk? You say, we are talking, that's God we are talking to. You say, can I talk to the God? I say, oh, no. No, not you. It's the word, you have, no, not you, you can't do that. So that really sat in him a kind of a wonder. I lost my parents. I have nobody. And the God that there's a God who doesn't even want me to be there. So he overcame that somehow. But anyway, to cut it short, when my father came from the war and he worked with that person, he was good enough because he worked for him, that family, because the salary was only to every season when the cattle give a calf, they give him one calf. That's yours. That's the salary, nothing else. So he got enough of it and he moved out. And that's when he met my mother. And my sister was born, two sisters were born, the third one was born, and then my father had cattle that time. He really had a lot of cattle. And then my mother was saying, I wish we get a boy. Well, my father said, I don't know. We don't talk about that. Sure enough, one night, my father had a dream. And he had a dream that he will get his wife, my mother, will be pregnant with a boy. And he thought that he was seeing ghosts. He jumped off and wondered what was that. So he didn't tell my mother. The next morning he ran to the neighbor, not too far from there, and he was going to tell him this crazy thing that he had in the night. And the guy was saying, I have something to tell you. I say, what? Just a minute. I say, no, I have to tell you. No. So the guy said, who goes first? So my father said, what do you have to say? He said, I dreamt that your wife is going to have a son. My father said, you did? I was just going to tell you that. And he said, what is that? My father said, you dreamt that too? I said, yeah. Should you tell your wife? I said, no, I'm going to. What if it doesn't happen? So he kept quiet. And that dream, he was told that the baby will be born, but he will not be home. My father will be not home. He told the same guy that he got the story, the same thing. So he forgot all about it. My sister Anna was still, nursing and so forth, and then one time, and my mother was pregnant, but my father almost forgot about it. There was a man from the old person who used to hire my father. He sent a man miles away to come and get help for my father to take care of cattle who were dying, and my father knew how to make herbs and so forth to save his cattle. It's about, probably, a day and a half or probably a day walking. Because it's probably about 70 miles or 80 miles or something like that, but through the jungle. So my father walked and left and said, well, my mother is pregnant, but he said, I have to go anyway because this guy needs me. He went there. By the time he came back, my mother had a son. That's me. Now, so I live that way. So that's how I am. I just want to move on. Now, when we say about the poverty was one of the things that we have in our country quite a bit. The people were poor, and I grew up in that. I grew up eating stuff. Give you an example. It gets so dry, and the cattle will go to drive the cattle, and so the little pools of water dry out. The cattle have been going there, drinking it, peeing in it, but I come in there, put my nose in there, drink some water. With all that, I never got sick. So that kind of a thing was really very difficult, but I went through it. When we talk about colonial power, was also another thing which was a hindrance for me. I grew up at that time, and my father, I wanted to be a Moran, I wanted to be a Maasai Moran. I want to have my ears pierced and I have my spear and so forth. And I said, that's all I want. I don't want this kind of, because there are no schools anyway, so we go miles away to get a bush school somewhere. So I said, I want to go take care of cattle. My father said, you're not. I said, I want to. He said, no, you're not. Why? Why are you doing that? I said, well, because I want you to be a different type of a warrior. What kind of a warrior was that? So my father said, well, you see, you got a spear there. You got a shield. But I want you to take a different spear. What's wrong with my spear? I said. He said, nothing wrong with it, but this one is better. So my father pulled this, went out and pulled a stick, a pencil, like this. He said, this is going to be your spear in the future. And now you are going to have to hold this as a spear. And I looked at it, and I looked at him. You don't argue with your father. I looked at him, and I looked down. You see, okay. He said, you said? I said, uh-huh. He said, I don't care. You go keep that. This is what you're going to be. What I'm going to do is I take to your mother. Maybe she will keep it for you. So I took to my mother. My mother's house and said, can you keep this spear for me? And my mother said, what spear? I said, this. She said, are you okay? I said, yeah. Where did you get it? Baba gave me. She didn't argue. She just took it and said, I'll keep it for you. So she covered it up. His idea was, you are no longer going to be a warrior using the spear or Maasai and do that. I want you to be a different warrior. And that's when he told me then the story about my birth. That he promised God, if God gave him a son, he would make sure that son will serve God. But I didn't say anything. And he said, but now this is the spear you're going to use because I want you to be a warrior of a different type. I said, what is it? He said, if you use this well, you see those birds, the birds which are flying out? Those are the airplanes. Flying from South Africa going up in Kenya. He said, you see those birds? I said, uh-huh. He said, you'll be able to also to know to fly those birds. Boy, that's really something else. So he gave me that and say, you look well, you do that job, it's going to be a good job, so don't rob it. But poverty hits the ground. We couldn't do anything. Starvation came. We ate things which I don't want to say about it. And sickness came. So I was really very sick. I was a sick kid. I get pneumonia, malaria, just left and right. And I cough, my chest and so forth. But my father always took to the prayer all the time. He ran to the prayer. He went to travel, about 10 months, go to church, run and go pray in there. Because he always says, God is, God gave me, God is going to take care of it. So I came, so that's why I am here to say, what really drove me is that the sickness was part of the thing that people say I was going to go on. I was really, honestly, I was called mute because I did not talk to people. And I am now, again, I left that situation. I'm not mute anymore as you see it now. I kind of move away from that. But so one of the things I want to tell you about the barriers now that the education system, the British the system was a pyramid. They make very hard to reach up. So you have they pick up the top and the rest of them. So if you did not get the grades up, they work so hard. The British, the German had Tanganyika, Deutsch, they took that, they no school. The British came in, they didn't build no college. They have 3 countries, Uganda, Kenya, Tanganyika, shared one university. So it was a pyramid. So you really have to really be up there to be able to go to school. So it was difficult to go to school anyway. We had a tribal also. The other thing which I suffered is because Maasai were warriors, and I think I paid the price of my ancestors who fought some tribes and abused them. Then when everybody saw me a Maasai, they hated me. He's coming, everybody is scared of me. Don't get him closer here. So I went to school, and people would talk bad, and so I'll start beating them up, and then they chased me, get this animal out of here. So I did, it was difficult, really. And then when I finally got into so-called primary school and middle school and so forth, I will do something good here. I do math here, and I get it right, and the same thing I get, and he gets, it hurts for children. And I think it's, for me, it was really very difficult to see that tribal, 125 tribes, and languages and so forth. And in Tanganyika those days, and the Maasai were hated because they hurt a lot of people. I don't know. So the sins of our ancestors get on my back, because I went to college, then finally my father sold his bulls and so forth to make sure I get to same one college which the whole country of Tanzania shared. And I went to that college far away, and I felt like dead because I didn't have a friend, not a single one. And people look at me as a sick person. When we go to the dining room, I sit in the corner out there, and they look at me and they talk about me because they talk their language, and I didn't know the language. I didn't have any Maasai. But that helped me because I finished school earlier before I left them there. And I finished college earlier, and I went to teach back in my area, Maasai area. And they were surprised, how can he finish that? Because I said, he was here, didn't have any friends. I had friends a lot, I told them. Where are they? I said, they're there. I showed them the library. Where are those friends? I said, they're all not here. I showed them the books. The books are your friend? I said, yeah. Why? Because the book do not discriminate me. And so that was one of the things I did. Now, to comment really quickly, it's just that I wanted to get what kept my hope alive then. It's a thing that my father believed, the spear. And my father always told me, you are not dead until you are dead. And I said, huh? He said, you are not dead until you are dead. I said, Okay. So I just believed that, yeah, okay. I thought death is going to come at me, but he said no. And the other thing, he said, never wait for death. Keep running. I said, okay. He said, another thing is if you look at it, people said, so many people die before they are dead. Because what? They give hope up. They get a problem, they say, I'm dead. He said, you make it easier for the death to kill you if you say that. So I didn't answer much, but the more I grew older, the more I realized that's the truth about it. What I really want to talk much today is what we call hope is both conscious and unconscious. Hope is both psychologically understood and felt, and it is both conscious and unconscious. As I say about the chair, but if you walk, always hope, you are walking, but as you lift one leg, unconsciously, you are hoping this other leg will go well. And you are not even counting, you are just what? Walking. But the consciousness is controlling that for you to keep on moving from where you are to the next step. People think that is you have to feel it, you have to, no, it is there because it's all the so-called the lobes of the brain. Everyone, this hope is really circulated. So every time, right now, you're breathing, right? Are you trying to breathe? You just breathe. There is a so-called the conscious of a hope. Hope is always ahead of you. Many people die before they're dead because you always say ultimately yes. But remember, just because you don't feel it does not mean that it is not controlling you, because we are not always conscious of everything. Right now, can you feel your back? Now, because I say that you are feeling it. Before I said it, were you feeling it? You see, so it is there. So when I saw this kind of idea, I thought about hope. Hope is a very powerful part of a human being. And it's not just a physiology, it's something which really we talk about in a language, but honestly, the brain works that way. You're going to breathe the next second, but you are not conscious of it. But hope does that. So you don't have to, it's not something you're going, now I'm going to do. No, it is there. It continuously go there. You breathe in and out. You breathe in and out. You are not counting it, but hope does that because to go, it is kind of moving you up from there. So in psychology, they say it really from the so-called feeling of I am here, the feeling of present, feeling there, makes you propel also to the next step that you want to put in there. I think it's hope, the people despair. And those people who despair sometimes is really that they lose that kind of a hope and say. I think hope has moved me from danger, and when I came to this country, and I experienced a lot of discrimination, and I just want to quickly tell you the discussion I had, which is, where are we now, in Minnesota? Yeah, Minnesota. And how many of you remember, yeah, I'm sure you remember the winter of 1967-68.
Yes.
Was it a nice winter? Was it hot, warm? It was the worst winter. 67-68. A lot of people got hurt in Minnesota here, and that's when I came to this country. I say to Professor mine, I said, if God wants to kill Africans or put them in prison, in hell, just put them in the snow. That's it. You don't have to burn them up. Just put them there. That's it. I got up. In those days, I went to I won't mention it. I went to school here in Twin City, and at the school, when during the winter, December comes, it closes up, and then I had to stay in a little room where there's radiators, those radiators which are big, the water radiators on the window, and that's what I put my little pot of water, boil that on it, so I can sell some coffee in it and drink it. I got a job. I tried to get a part-time job at Dayton's. And I had to get the bus. You jump up and down until the bus is like forever is not going to come because your feet are getting heavier and heavier and cold. I go in there and I work in the night, and then I come during the day and I get to work, go school, do the schoolwork. But one day I had a little money. I stopped at a restaurant to get coffee. And I'm sitting there, sitting at a counter there. The girl passes me and coffee there, coffee here. And then I decided maybe she had to see the money. So I took my dollar, just waving like that. She still did not see it. She kept on going there, pour coffee here. And I got up and I left. Go to that killer, cold killer, out waiting for me. I said, I remember then my father when he said, you are not dead until you are dead. Oh. And he also said that don't wait for death. Let death chase you. I said, I'm not going to sit here and die. I remember also, right here in Minnesota, not too far, going to church, such a good Lutheran like me, go to a Lutheran church. And then I walked in there, I met, the ushers were in the front of there. They say, can I help you? I say, I'm going to church. Say, oh, no, this is not here. Your church is, a block just not like that. I said, no, I'm here. No, you go there. That's what your church is. I survived. I worked. I did the work in school here in Minnesota. I won't say where. I got my degree earlier and before because I had no friends. I don't go out, and I just dig the books and so forth, and I finish up the other guys, and I can write their papers. They pay me. I do research, and then they get A's, and I get a B. And I didn't care, and as long as I get the money. So I finish it up, and when I started the doctoral work, I went to Aquinas Institute of Philosophy in Iowa, and I needed a toothbrush, needed a what and so little thing when I go in that little area in Dubuque, and I go in a drug, Walgreens to say exactly. Go in there and I walk in. The lady, the girl who was checking people out, she just got alerted, and she followed me every step of the way. I touched her and said, "You want that?" I said, "No, I'm not yet." And I touched her, "Do you want that?" And she left the people standing there waiting to be checked out. Until people start throwing things and say, "Are you crazy? What can we? What?" And then then I turned to her. I said, "Excuse me." I said, "Before I leave, I'll open my pants and take so you see that I didn't take anything." "Oh, no, I don't mean anything." Anyway, that's what. So why do you think that I survived? Because hope. I hoped that I was going to finish that school, I was going to finish my doctorate and so forth, and I'll get moving out. Now, so in the book I have several things in it. One of it, again, is poverty and so forth.
Sorry, I'm going the wrong way, honey.
Yeah, you're going the wrong way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this where you want to be?
Yeah, let's just go, yeah. I said already, both, this is really what I mean by conscious and unconscious, probably you know it, but the river of life. some of you are younger than me. I would say most of you are younger than me. Life is like a river, riding on it. There is embarkation and disembarkation. You disembark or you embark. You didn't choose where to get it. Did you choose your parents? Show me if you did. Good. Okay. You got born, right? You got in the life of moving. So life is like a river, Mississippi. And you embark on that, either we're out there or maybe down in some other states out there, that's where you are. And you go in there, it's like a train. You find strangers. You are walking, you are driving, you are going down with them. Some of them would like to look at you, some of them will turn their head away from you, but you are in the same train of life. You embark, but there is a kind of a disembarkation. No one knows. We are all strangers. Found ourselves in the same vehicle of life. The question is, can you look at me rather than stiff your neck so you don't want like that because you're afraid of looking at me? Or you sit like you're a statue because if I look this way, I may see me. People in that riding of that life, people tend to want to have a blinders because I don't know this person. I don't know. Then you get a stiff neck. Because you're almost like you always can breathe. You just feel like your oxygen is being sucked out. Because you get all these strangers riding with you. I think that's what I call embarkation, disembarkation, different times, but we all moving together on this river of life. Ladies and gentlemen, every one of you breathes in and out. Not consciously. But now, because I say that you are conscious, you are breathing. We all do that. So why am I afraid of others moving along with me? Because I don't know them. I don't know what they will say. So you sit down there, you hardly can breathe. Your eyes are turning this way, but not the head. You just turn this way. You feel like a dead person while moving on. Why are you afraid of looking this or that way? Because he doesn't look like me. She doesn't look like me. Oh, my God. What am I going to say to her? So, does that person have 3 legs? Only 2. I have 2, too. 1 head. What's so different? So we move on that. We hurt ourselves. I'm afraid of moving aside because really, if I move so much closer, I may talk to you, I may tell you something I don't want to hear. So just hoping that, you'll get out of it. It should drop. The station will come and go. Sometimes you irritate people if you don't die early because then, they don't like you. They get really stiff their neck. So what makes you to really want to push the other person off the raft of that is the fact that you are afraid, not because you are really that way, call it evil, but you are afraid that I don't know what will happen to me. Now, when I was in the book, I wrote a lot of things. And one of it is really that about the river. And that part of it I wrote when I wrote that when I was I come from school and I look at the ravine back. And one night, I think one evening, I'm sitting there and then I almost went into a trance. And I'm serious. I felt just dropped. And all I can see is the waving of the trees of the ravine moving back, branches back and forth, and the crickets crying. And I felt like I'm in a different world. Normally I don't like mosquitoes biting, and especially, they bite quite a bit. But after that night, that evening, I was really taken. And I think question is that when you write, well, both you all have written, I've been writing this river for 86 years. 86 years I've been in this river. Are you with me? Some of you have been writing less, and so forth. But it's the river of life. And the question is that, do you know who is your left and who is your right? Or you're stuck like this? That's really hard for you. You may live long, and your neck, by the time you get to where you get off the train, I think you'll be stiff. So we are all going in this, the river of life. Life is like a river going. We start embark ourselves, and then we we go through it, and we don't really realize that we have affected a lot of other people. The question when you are writing, did you look at your left or your right? Who is there? The question is, where is your neighbor? Where is your sister? Where is your brother? That's the question. But if you are stuck like this, you won't know me. You won't even see that person. Because you are afraid if I look, I may not like that person. But you forget, you are all of you are riders. All of you. There will come a time of a disembarkation. You didn't choose to embark to get there. You didn't choose a way to be born. Did you? Maybe you did. I did not. The parents don't write you a note and say you want to be born here. No, you just get born. So you get into that river without ever really your choice. So what makes me wanting you not to be in that? You are just a rider like I am. And we probably disembark differently. Who knows? And sometimes that's what probably, for me, is very important. Now, I'm going to have to move quickly because I've been in trouble. I'm obedient. I want to talk about the grandma's quilt. The grandma's quilt, I came to this country and I think I just want to tell the story, but we had different things in as far as a quilt is concerned. In Africa, we have a different way, and my niece is going to be very kind. Nurses, well, you train them, they are nice, and they really become very helpful. Just love them. And this is a quilt. This quilt has been my teaching aid in teaching university, but also doing psychotherapy, patients and so forth. Why? What do you see in this quilt? Some patches are small, some are bigger, some are bright, some are dull. The problem with the quilt. I think the quilt, you have all this. The problem with the quilt, tell this little patch, say, I don't like you. And the other one say, I'm better than you. The other one say, well, I'm so small. All these kind of things, they see. You are here. The quilt, honestly, if you want to think carefully, is a quilt God built. It's grandma's quilt. It's a quilt which has memory. Every little patch has a history. When grandmas used to make quilts, they take patches and put there and say, because it's a memory. Now, so to put whatever they want to put, they saw it fit. So we have to take it off. Then you don't have a complete quilt. God is our grandma. God made the quilt of the world. Therefore, God put us in different places, wherever it is God saw it. How dare you, you little one or you big one, tell this one you are ugly, you don't look good, or you that your colors are not good. Or you're too what? If you turn it, what's the difference? You see, it's lay the foundation the same. You are human. You know, I'm saying it because Lutheran women, you made a lot of quilts. And God bless you. And you have what? Holds all those little, the threads which are holding those patches. It's the faith. And that's why I want to say, honestly, maybe you have been thanked a lot, but I want to say officially from my heart, you have done well before God. Your hands, which made those quilts, I wish the world can learn from it. What right does one quilt has to tell the other quilt, get out, you don't fit in here? I think it's but I don't want to kind of overdone it, just very well. The challenge of migration, one thing I want to touch about it. You remember Abraham in the Old Testament? Where did he go when the country didn't have food? Egypt. Africa. Crossed there, went there. Migration not new. It's been for centuries. People move when there's discomfort there, they find comfortable places somewhere else. When Abraham went to Egypt, he was treated well. He told a little lie when he told the Pharaoh that, this is my sister. He should have just said, this is my wife. But he was saying, maybe if I say my wife, I don't know. Maybe if he told, I'm going to say you are my sister. Only the king found later that he lied to him. So why didn't you lie? Why did you lie to me? You could just tell me it's your wife. Maybe he was afraid that he would probably but he got accepted. When the king wanted to kill Christ, where did they go? But why is it we in the Western world or Eastern world or Central world, why do we so uptight when we see these killers and so forth? No, put the wall there for God's sake. They're going to mess up our country. But we go to church in the name of God, the Father, Holy Spirit. We love you, God. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you love God, but you don't love. Who made those people? A devil? The same God you praise here is the same God who created them. And you say you are a Christian. Those people, it's a cross. But it seems to me those people, that's their cross. Yeah. I love God, but me. And God said, it's not a cross. Put your arms out. Oh, God, it's too much. Yeah, put all the way up. Then you have a cross. You bear the cross. Because I can touch now more. But if I do this way, I want to touch myself right here. Roving, people moving from one place to another is not new. It had been done in history. Animals in Serengeti do that. When the rain is not in Tanganyika, in Tanzania, they go to Kenya, they cross. The rain comes, they cross. They have all their roving, but human beings do the same thing. Psychologically, if you are sitting on a chair and you feel it's hard, I would probably see you looking at this chair slowly, wanting to move and get in here. Consciously, unconsciously, we like to move away from things which are painful to get to the comfort. But people who cross there, that we call them thieves and whatever and so forth. Oh, for God's sake, before they came, you guys had jails and prisons here. Just like I was dumb, I went to England, and I thought the thieves were only in Africa, and I found they had jails. I said, who are they? They said, jail. What did they do? They're robbers and so. You're kidding. British? Yeah. I said, okay, I raised my case. Point is, migration is good. Now I want to tell two things with this, just because I want to cover that quickly. There are two words here. It's called assimilation and acculturation. If you come to Africa or whatever, you are new. You want to come because you want to have a help. You need somebody to, maybe you are, whatever it is, gone, and you want to stay make some life. I'll say, okay, yeah, I show you. I say, all right, welcome and so forth. I'll cook for you the first time. Okay, we eat and so forth. The second time, you wash the dishes. I cook, but you wash the dishes. The third, fourth day, I will tell you where the food is. I'm really going to be late, and if you want, you can cook. You can make. I show you the kitchen. Before you know, I'm showing you where the garden is. There are two words in psychology and in sociology. We go wrong when we hang on what we call really assimilation. We want to. You're going to dress like her, you're going to walk like her, you're going to do like that. So for God, say, why don't you just kill me then? Because I cannot do everything like that. Because you are you, and if assimilation robs you, you are in need, so you're going to come and say, talk like me, and so forth, then you are no longer the same person. Assimilation is not good at all. Acculturation is what you come with your habit. How many times do you chew before you swallow? Have you ever counted?
Excuse me, what?
How many times do you chew your food before you swallow? Sometimes people have their own, we do all our things. Some people eat first, slow, whatever. Now, for you to come, so to strip you of those things, I might as well shoot you. Because you are dead. You have to have those things which belong to you. You have to kind of appreciate the person. Yes, you come here, but I'm not going to strip you of your language. I'm not You have to kind of work out to work with this so we can both understand each other. Come to my house, you go. God say, then what? You are not there. So I think the two words you find in my book is that acculturation really recognizes has a past life also. Immigrant and vice versa. Both. I have my niece here. She can't think she's washing dishes too. Because that's how. So the person you receive is not a dead person, remember that. The people who cross the border are not dead. They come with what they learned about it, and why don't you, then if you are really that generous, get the whole person and say, show me, let's exchange. That way, before you know it, you don't have to worry about that person because the person will be standing up and doing things by himself. Friend versus guest. So I think, again, we, instead of, you find a thing in a book that I wrote because of the, what happened in Europe, with that time when the people were running away from the colors and so forth. The European received them, and then all of a sudden the kids are being. What's the problem? I say the problem is that when they were there, when they came in there, they were left as guests, so stay as a guest. They need to pray their way. They also they have ways of, they have cultures. You don't strip a person just because a person has no room now home. You strip a person and say, now I'm going to make a new person. No, you are not a creator. You are a person who can, so you give that kind of a situation. Now, I'm moving a little bit because we have questions. Because I'm going to cover, again, about what you call the faith, hope, and peace. I want remember I talked about the ladies, the women were, and then when Jesus appeared, what did he say? Peace. You have faith. What is faith? And so you have, as a Christian, you have a triangle. Start with faith. Faith is a total surrender to God. Faith is a total, not a bit, a total surrender to the ultimate. Not a little bit. So you pour yourself and say, that faith, when you say a total surrender, then hope, because hope is built in a brain of a human being. Your legs are walking, but honestly you don't, I'm now walking. No, there is it's a kind of, it's called a both conscious and unconscious situation. So you find faith, if you surrender, then it needs something to sustain it. If you believe in it, you have something to sustain it, and that's what hope. Hope is the one which is built in it to wire or to put pressure or to put whatever energy in it so you can continue to it because it leads you to something else. Shalom. So the disciples had faith. But they almost lost hope. Yeah. So Christ comes and says, now, it's all done now, and the last thing is shalom, peace. You don't get peace right away just without that. It comes that way. So you start with really that faith, hope become the driver, the engine to end up to what you call now peace or shalom. Now, just because you don't need to have some questions. So, unity within diversity. We're united. We're divided. There's a sort of a diversity here. Some of us are older, some of them are younger, and some of us are, whatever it is, and so forth. But there's a unity. Today you are all here, but you all go to your home. Everybody's breathing differently. You breathe, the way you breathe is not breathing the same way. But you are all here. There's a unity, but we are divided. You are kind of diversified. You are diversified. Some people are tall, some people are short. We go in church here and look at the people singing. Everybody comes in and says, I'm going to church, but we are diversified at the same time as unity. So I think the two things are very, very much important, because people sometimes say, either you are united or we are divided. No. They go hand in hand. Because you are going to be Cheryl, and I'm going to be Sam. But we are united Christians. We believe in God. So I think people need to realize that, just the fact that we are, we have to realize those two things go together. Now, grievances, setting them aside to save us, a sinking ship. Sometimes when there is a fire, I have a thing in a book there, a person's house is burning. And he called the fire department come, and the guy say, oh my God. Go to the neighbor, ring the doorbell. Please, can you help me? And my house is on fire. And I have my kids, I can say, get away, I want to go to work tomorrow. I'm tired, I'm sleeping, and my family is sleeping. You don't want to because it's not me, it's you. There's a sort of a story I had about the ship which was in trouble in the ocean. And the crew had a really thing with the captain. Captain was, I think they didn't like what the captain was doing to them, and they kind of mad. But all of a sudden, there was a turbulence on the ocean a lot, and the ship is going to really be in trouble. All they have to do, all this is say, look, we don't like what the captain is doing to us, but you know what? We're in the ship, all of them, and I think this is our home. We've been our home for a long time. For God's sake, let's put our grievances on the side for a while. Let's work on it, try to work on this situation. In this country, we have problems. But when the thing comes out there, it just comes to us. We work together because it's our home. If we don't save it, we burn the whole thing. Peace is not absence of opposites. Rather, it is meeting of two realities harmoniously. Peace is not really opposed to anything. It comes together. It is two realities come together, short and tall, woman and man, child and parent, rich and poor. You have, those are really what we call, etiquette. So that peace put people to really realize, like for example, you look at when Jesus said, Shalom, peace. You know that as Peter was there, Thomas was there, and so forth. They didn't do the same thing. But even though they were different, but that peace held them, that word shalom, peace. Now, calm down now. It's good. It's over. Differences are there, do not make a big difference at the point, because now you are together. In other words, you become one. You act as one family. In peace, differences are not conflictual, but rather complementary. So with that, I think we complement each other, not rather than getting jealous about the other. We complement each other. I hear some beautiful singing sometimes in the church. I really wonder. I wish I could sing like that, but too bad I don't have an ability. I think also when we look at peace, is not the absence of disagreement in any relationship. I'm not talking about your marriages. Maybe I am. But, relationship, people say, well, I don't. I say, again, it's, we can disagree, but we are still peaceful. In a way which is more understanding. Disagree because, how many times do you chew before you swallow? And how many times I chew before I swallow may be different. But we agree, we're all eating food, type of a thing. It is the ability to admit that neither side alone has the ultimate truth or solution to our human predicament. What breaks marriages or relationship? It's a tug of war. I'm right. I say, no. You are both right and wrong. Oh, come on. Don't say that. Because I know this. He's a total loser. Yeah, I know. But he's human just like you are. You have something if you point to you. I think it's a sort of where you realize no matter what we do, we have something that we don't have everything ourselves. We are now sharing things with. And let's not see the differences as an enemy. Differences sometimes makes us stronger to see that the one who have more to give more, the one who have less, they give less. So again, I'm told to say I appreciate the disciples of Christ standing of who are standing firm now, I guess, is the world. Seriously, the world is in trouble, and I'm not kidding. I've seen enough of it. The Second World War scared the daylight out of me because it was too close. Many people, but now when I look at it, the worst is relationship. We talk as if we're going to just annihilate each other. And I said, what do we get from it? I think I wish the world will see that there is a way. I appreciate the disciples of Christ who are standing firm while the rest of the world is locked up in a room with fear. You people, the world is crying out there, but you're here standing. I pray and ask you, don't give up. Don't give up. Because we need you. The world needs you. No matter what, if they admit or not, I know they do. I've been around a little bit, I've been around a few years than most of you guys. I know the world needs it. Those people in Russia, I saw that, and when I was in the Soviet Union, I looked at it and said, may God have mercy on them. They need you. So I'm saying this country, I ask and pray, hold it up. Keep praying. Don't let it down. Don't look for saints to come out somewhere else. You are the saints, period. And I'm not just bothering you, but I know I've been looking. I've been in this church looking. I know. I've been around. I've known churches. I know pastors a lot. And I'm saying, may God continue to pump that oxygen in you so you keep on going. Questions? Did I kill it? I think again I said, and I'm saying this honestly, I'm very proud of you, women of the church, because you never gave up that time of Christ. You didn't give up, and you are not giving up even today. And I'm sorry that to say man, I'm a man, but I always know that they say the man is the head of the house, and I say the woman is the neck of the house. Now tell me which head will go without a neck, and which neck will go without a head. So we are stuck together. Any questions?
I have a personal question, and then if anyone has questions, but I'm curious how you met your lovely wife.
That's a very good one. That's good, true. I think by the grace of God, let me just say that by the grace of God, I did meet her. We met in the hospital, and so I'm not under very good conditions. I tell you, I'm in a crisis and things like that. I did chaplaincy also at Rochester, so that's where I met. She was a nurse, head nurse, and I tell you, I saw how she worked so hard, how compassionate she was to patients and so forth. I look at the charts and things like that. I come up and I'm looking at the files, and my eyes is looking the other way, looking as she goes in, and but honestly, yes, I realize she really cares. She really meant she had a good heart, care her patients, because that's what the way for me. If I hire you to be a farmer, for God's sakes, farm. Okay, don't monkey around. If you are going to fix the car, fix the car. And I think this right, I found out, look at, she really took this job seriously. And that's the type of person I am. I can drive you crazy because I can just on and on and on and on go that way. But yeah, that's how we met.
Other questions?
Ask me anything. I have big shoulders. Just let it come. And again, I want to just say that really credit go to the sisters of this church who have been so much working so hard. And I ask you, I pray that don't give up. No, don't give up. And you remember, don't give up. And continue to be generous. Continue to teach people. You teach us men sometimes. I've been a man longer than many men here. But, teach us something. Because sometimes we think we know it better. No. So, again, it's that, any other question, please?
I'll just reiterate what I spoke to you about earlier is that I'm almost done with this book, but what I'm finding is that he speaks very clearly to all of us in so many ways. And I feel hopeful reading his book because he not only talks about difficult situations, he also mentions or refers to ways that some of these situations could be addressed. And talking about building bridges instead of walls, reaching out instead of closing in, and really emphasizing how we really are all the same people under the roof, and we are all indeed God's people, regardless of color, size, whatever piece of the quilt you happen to be. So I thank you for sharing your vision, and it's a very enjoyable and hopeful and meaningful read. Thank you.
Thank you, all.
Is there one more?
Have you been back to Tanzania?
Oh, yeah, many times.
And how do you find the people and the educational system now?
The education system was not what I really wanted to, but somehow they are managing. But I tell you, it's not the people. It's those who say we rule, the government. And I say it because we were the people who found the tunnel, and Julius Nyerere. We know that we say work and freedom. You don't just get freedom, but you have to work. And I found now the government is just like any other stuff, their pockets and so forth. And then, so it's very discouraging. But you know what? I'm not dead, and God is not dead. Therefore, I know they will come out of it.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are your sisters still in Africa?
My,
Are your sisters still in?
yeah. They are all, there were two of them here. How many times now?
One of them was here twice and one was here once.
Yeah, they are there. The oldest one now left is 92 or 93. And so she's the older now. The other one went to heaven. My parents, my father lived to pass 110. So I think it's, again, believe in God. And my father said, don't die until you are dead. That's what he preached to me all the time. Don't die until you are dead.
And he died on his knees.
And he died the day they picked him up. First of all, the hospital, they took him to the hospital. They said, he's too old, get him out here. And my brothers called me here and they say, this is what they're saying. I said, no, take my father home. He brought home. He lived. He lived that year long. And he lived on his knees praying. They found him on his bed praying. Finish up. But he told us. So we knew. He told us that he's going to go soon. So he called me, gave every child a verse of the Bible as an inheritance. So he did that. So he knew because he said, I know. So he went, found him, and so nobody really, we knew he was going, that's the way he was going to go, on his knees praying. Yeah.
Anyone else?
I hope I did not, maybe I did not get much of telling you a lot about, because the thing with me is that you have to, that's why I have to hold my mouth, because I run like a machine sometimes, and she said, can't get it out. And so. but honestly, I just want to say I appreciate, I think, as brothers and sisters, let's remember, it's not the whole world is going to come out and save the world. It's a few people who are dedicated, determined, can change it. And I say, I'm not bothering anything I said. I'm so deeply appreciative of the women of St. John, what they have been doing for the last time I've been observing this church. God bless you, because the work you are doing is not easy. And you tell the truth when it is there. I like, we talk the word of God the way it is, and let's live it. Let's live it. Live the word of God. And if you, we don't want to bother it up. Just do the thing. And the cross is like this. It's not like this. Me and God. No, Jesus said, put it up so I can reach. Anybody within your reach, you're okay. If you can't reach here, it's not meant for you, because she will put her arm up and you will finish up the other side. So you find people here walk like this, they are Christians here, and I say, what's wrong with your arms? Nothing. yes, something wrong. Yeah. The crosses have to be like that, not this. That's a stick. This is a cross.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and giving us hope.
Thank you. I appreciate, thank you, and again, we'll have to keep on working. Yeah.